Welcome to the CyberClinic Podcast. I am your host, Claude Bernard, and today I have the honor of introducing a remarkable leader and advocate in the field of behavioral health and disability services. Our guest today is Dr. Chantelle Taylor, the Chief Executive Officer of Atlas Institute, INC, a Maryland-based nonprofit that serves hundreds of individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities, with nearly 20 years of experience in mental health, program development, organizational leadership, and advocacy. Dr. Taylor has dedicated her career to building inclusive communities where individuals with IDD can thrive. Since joining Atlas in 2007, she has held progressive leadership roles, moving from quality assurance director to deputy director, and ultimately being appointed CEO in 2022. Her leadership is guided by a collaborative, people-first approach that not only empowers her staff, but also strengthens communities and drives innovation in behavioral health and disability services. Dr. Taylor holds a Bachelor of Science in Psychology from McGill University, a Master's in Counseling Psychology from Bowie State University, and a doctorate in Healthcare Administration from Virginia University of Lynchburg. She is also a national certified counselor, a clinical supervisor, and a mentor committed to guiding the next generation of mental health professionals. Her work has been recognized with numerous honors, including the Commitment to Excellence Award, the Celebration of Excellence in Professional Service, recognition as one of the Daily Record's leading women under 40, and an Outstanding CEO Award. Beyond her role at Atlas, she co-chairs the Maryland Association of Community Services Quality Assurance Peer Network, championing best practices and advancing policy statewide. Most recently, Dr. Taylor expanded Atlas' mission by launching a new behavioral health service line designed to better serve individuals with IDD through person-centered integrated wellness and clinical training. Above all, she is a passionate advocate for equity, inclusion, and the belief that wellness is a community effort. This philosophy permeates her leadership, mentorship, and advocacy. Please join me in welcoming to the CyberClinic Podcast, Dr. Chantelle Taylor.
Thank you
Um,
so much for having me.
you're welcome. Dr. Taylor, I don't know if you have a few words of your own to put in before I start questioning, asking you a few questions.
That was so many words. I wasn't expecting you to read all of that. But I'm glad that you pointed out very specifically that I work with the IDD community and I advocate for health equity. Those are my passions.
That's beautiful. That's awesome. All right, so I have a few questions here for you. One of which is this. Dr. Taylor, you've dedicated nearly 2 decades to behavioral health and disability services. What inspired your journey from counseling psychology into nonprofit leadership?
I've always wanted to help people and watch people learn to succeed on their own. So psychology was just a natural draw to me. When I started that journey, I didn't know where I was going to end up, but I was hoping it was going to be helping people.
Right.
Along the way, I fell in love with supporting the IDD community. So I married my two passions together, doing a lot of clinical work and advocating for that population and ultimately stepping into nonprofit leadership.
Wonderful. Good. That is such an inspiring path. And along that journey, you've developed a unique leadership style. Your leadership at Athenas is described as collaborative and people first. Can you share what that looks like in practice, especially in a nonprofit serving individuals with IDD?
Mhm. Absolutely. At Atlas, especially, we work as a team, and I never want to be seen as the coach of the team or the person who gives all the directives. We all learn from each other. We all have different expertise and different strengths. And in the nonprofit world, you are certainly there for the same mission. So we all sit at the table as equals. We problem solve. We're innovative. We're much more creative that way, and we learn from each other.
Nice. Um, Speaking your leadership at Atlas, let's talk about your work in DD services, which is such an important area of focus. What are the most pressing gaps you see in services for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities, IDD, and how is Atlas addressing them?
Sure. I think accessing behavioral health right now for the community as a whole has been challenging. Due to long wait lists, insurance issues. But what we noticed at Atlas specifically for the IDD population, it was even harder. Many of our people are supported through Medicaid insurance. It's difficult to find clinicians who accept that. And when we do, they have very long wait lists. Also, it was difficult to find clinicians specifically to work with our population who have some very different needs, maybe communication barriers. So we decided instead of waiting for the community to fill the gap, we would fill it ourselves. And very soon we will be opening an outpatient mental health clinic to support the IDD community specifically.
Oh, that's a great initiative. That's good. And you've taken this even further with new initiatives. That's commendable. You recently launched a behavioral health service line at TLS for the IDD community. What challenges did you face in building in it? What impact do you hope it will have?
There's a lot of regulatory red tape, which is understandable, but there was a learning curve for our team to work through that in a service line that they were initially unfamiliar with. And I think change in general is difficult for
Yes,
organizations. So being proactive and trying to reduce the resistance to change and push the innovation and creativity, that
right.
that was not a barrier, but a challenge that we had to overcome.
Yeah, that's for sure. Um, so I guess that ties directly into the experience of families and caregivers. So for families and caregivers of people with IDD, what practical advice do you have for navigating both behavioral health needs and systemic barriers to care?
Mhm. I would say first and foremost, find your resources, link up with other people in similar situations and be persistent, advocate loudly to reduce health disparities, link up with providers like Atlas or many others that are willing to provide resources and guidance. There's power in numbers too.
Right.
So once you get your group together, you have a much louder voice in finding your resources. And don't
Right.
take no
That's
for an answer.
right. As an extension to that question, do you have different groups of different backgrounds where a particular approach might differ from another?
Um, yes, I mean in general, there's general needs, but then there are very specific needs for different service recipients. So sometimes having collections of people who have similar needs get together and advocate, that is the best way.
Okay, yeah. So that leads us to a broader but critical theme, equity and inclusion, which are at the core of your advocacy. You're a strong advocate for equity and inclusion. How do you define those concepts in the context of behavioral health and disability services?
That's a great question. Uh, to me, equity is resources need to match the need. Just because the community has behavioral health providers that could be accessed, they may not be the specific type of behavioral health providers that would be best suited for people with IDD. As somebody who went through a graduate program in counseling psychology, we very rarely touched on the IDD community, and there's very specific ways to provide that type of clinical care, which I learned practically throughout my internship and beyond. So what we want to do is we want to train our clinicians to be creative and specifically work with this population. So for me, equity is making sure the resource matches the need for the population. And inclusion is true belonging in the community, whether that's the clinical community or the community at large, not just a seat at the table, being part of the conversations.
Right. That's inclusion. Yeah. Um, and when we talk about equity, social determinants of health come up again and again. Can you share an example where addressing social determinants of health significantly improved outcomes for individuals or families you serve?
Absolutely. I'm thinking of 100 stories I could tell, but there's one that specifically comes to mind. Transportation is often a barrier for people in the IDD community. And it's not just a matter of getting to and from places, it's a matter of getting to and from clinical appointments, behavioral health appointments. So if the transportation barrier cannot be solved, then there's also now a clinical and behavioral wellness barrier. So at Atlas, what we try to do is, whether there's funding for it or not, be creative and figure out ways to take the barrier away so they can access the resource that they need.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's a great example. And you often remind us that wellness isn't just an individual pursuit, it's collective.
Mhm.
So, wellness is a theme you return to often. What does wellness as a community effort mean to you, and how have you seen it come to life at Atlas?
I can say that I think that we promote integrated wellness, holistic wellness at Atlas very well. We have a lot of wraparound services, but wellness is not just receiving services. Wellness is true compassionate staff that have real relationships with the people they support. So we balance wellness in a lot of different ways in the community as a whole. I think there's probably work to be done there for the IDD community, specifically just awareness that we're here and
Right.
people with IDD are valuable members of the community and there's great services going on. So just getting that awareness out to the community as a whole is a start, and then pairing it with resources and inclusion.
Yeah, that's the key, resources. Yeah. You've received honors such as Outstanding CEO and Leading Women Under 40. How have these recognitions influenced your leadership journey?
I don't love getting awards, but I don't think I even went to the ceremony for many of them.
Oh no.
I'm getting better at doing that, but I love having a platform to promote Atlas and promote the team. It's really not a personalized thing for me when I get an award. It's all a reflection of how wonderful the team I have
Right,
with me
teamwork, yeah.
truly is.
Right. Yeah, teamwork is always the way to go.
Mhm.
As a mentor and clinical supervisor, what qualities do you believe are most critical for the next generation of mental health professionals?
Compassion, I think, would be one of the biggest priorities. Compassion for the people that they're working with, compassion for their peers, compassion for themselves,
Yes.
and empathy. Those have to be the foundation of clinical care.
Right. I guess you gotta really feel this is something that you connected with and you feel there's an urge, you're doing it not just for the sake of appearing or getting an award for, right?
Absolutely.
Um, and for those young professionals that entering the field, how do they balance their clinical passion with leadership ambitions? What do you tell young professionals entering behavioral health who want to balance both clinical passion and leadership ambition?
I get excited when I hear younger professionals sharing that they want to move into leadership because the training is so individual focused and just
Right.
on the practice that you miss that leadership part. So we need good leaders, we need good mentors. And I think clinically trained people who have the foundation of compassion and empathy are the perfect people to do that because they
Right.
stop and they listen to others on their team.
Nice. Yeah.
But I would remind them to build strong teams. Do
Yes,
that right
exactly.
away.
Right. Yeah. When someone does not work well in the team, so the team suffers.
Yeah. And when the leader is not humble enough to recognize they don't have all the answers and admit when they make mistakes, they will lose the respect of their teammates. So I think for a young professional starting out, they need to ask themselves the question, why am I going into leadership? Is this to fill my ego or is
Right.
this to fill the cups of my teammates?
Yeah. Yeah, because there's an ego-driven part of this that usually fills people up and feels as if they're on top of everybody else.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's for sure. Um, Let's shift to nonprofit leadership and program innovation, which are central to your role as CEO. What strategies have been most effective for sustaining nonprofit programs in a sector where resources can be scarce?
Mhm. I would say diversifying funding is a foundational piece of ensuring sustainability of programs. And being creative and innovative and knowing how to stretch a resource. And that's where the team comes in. I have seen my team do amazing things with very limited resources
Right,
that promote the wellness of the people in our services.
right.
So putting in long hours and stretching a resource really is the theme to a nonprofit.
Oh, okay.
Community partnerships to business relationships, building that community, and really being a part of it truly helps.
How many communities do you have involved in this, or what types of communities are heavily involved in this
Mhm.
with you guys?
We work a lot with an inclusive wellness program that runs inclusive physical fitness activities. We've actually partnered with them, and they run many of those programs out of our administrative office.
Right,
We have partnered with scholarship programs for people with IDD, local colleges, local healthcare agencies, the food bank, any resource that we can find that will help the people in our services. We will knock on their door until they answer.
that's good. Have so many answered already, or just a few?
Sorry, it glitched for a second. Can you
How
repeat that?
how many have answered the call so far?
Most everyone,
Oh,
everybody is
nice.
very willing to help, from corporate businesses to other nonprofits to other DDA providers. We lean on each other. We don't look at each other as competitors because I think truly the mission is global.
Exactly. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. And how do you measure success? Not just organizational metrics, but in terms of impact on individuals and communities.
As a former quality assurance data driven person, I am supposed to say metrics, KPIs, but
Yes.
truly, as important as those things are, that is not how I measure success. I
Right,
measure I measure it by stories and watching the progress of the people in our programs
right,
and seeing their wins, whether they're big wins or small wins. That's all a win for us. And
right,
then watching our staff help grow the people in our programs, and by default, the staff grow as well. That to me is success, hands down.
right. Like palpable results,
Yeah.
things that people can talk about, and you feel, in fact, these are things that they have lived or living as a
hmm
result of your work.
When I hear a parent say to me, the progress that my child has made in these past 5 years being at Atlas is that's what does it for me. That's what sends me home happy. And I feel like we've done the right thing.
That's the way to go. That's the way it should be.
Yeah.
Um, Looking ahead, technology continues to shape healthcare in big ways. I'm sure you're aware of that. With
Mhm.
technology playing a growing role in healthcare, how do you see digital tools and telehealth shaping the future of IDD and behavioral health services?
In the nonprofit world, especially in IDD, we were not technology focused until we had to be. And when 2020 came, we panicked and
Mm,
wondered how we were going to do human services
right,
without being able to be face to face. Technology saved us. It saved the relationships. It let us stay connected. And from that, we've continued on. We have virtual programming services for people who don't want to come in person or maybe have transportation barriers. We are going to be offering telehealth, behavioral health appointments for people. We let people have a choice rather than, being told they're going in a car to an appointment. Where do you want to have it? Do you want to have it from the comfort of your room? Do you want to go in person? I think just giving people choice is a powerful thing
right.
in and of itself.
Right. Besides those issues that people may have as far as transportation or other impediments that could be on their way, preventing them from getting access to this, the telehealth aspect of it, I think, is a very handy thing to have it allows people who may be shy or not willing to venture out there amongst groups and stuff like that. That could be a good tool for them too, right?
Absolutely. People
Right.
with severe anxiety, sometimes a
Yes.
telehealth visit or meeting is just much more comfortable for them.
Right. Yeah, that's for sure. And beyond technology, let's talk about your broader vision for the field. Looking ahead, what's your vision for the next 5 to 10 years in building more inclusive, person-centered behavioral health systems?
Mhm. I think continuing to do a lot more of the same, um, finding ways to meet people's needs in a person-centered manner and figuring out the funding later. Talk to
Right.
the person, find out the needs, get them the resources, then figure out the funding, not the other way around. That way, we aren't putting people in boxes. I also want to expand our behavioral health services. We're starting in one county now, but I would like to see mirror programs across many counties, especially our more rural counties where there really is difficulty in the IDD community accessing behavioral health and more community partnerships.
Right. Yeah. Is there a fund, a state funded section of this where you rely on the state or you rely on the federal government for that to be funded?
The majority of the funding does come from Medicaid dollars they're funneled through the state, which is wonderful and also scary. That's why I'm looking to diversify funding because we're so tied to those state funding amounts that it makes it difficult to fund some certain special projects.
Oh, wow. Oh, good. Yeah. Um, Now I guess we can ask the audience if they do have a few questions. Again, for those of you who were here before, I apologize for the technical issues that happened earlier where I had to create a new link to share it with you. Otherwise, I'm sure there would have been many more people here today who were anticipating they were going to be part of this. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. Hopefully, this is not going to be the last time we're going to have Dr. Taylor on here. So next time around, she won't be as disappointed, and the audience won't be as disappointed as well. So hopefully, next time we'll be okay. So again, I apologize for what happened. Please ask questions to Dr. Taylor. Hopefully, you were taking notes while she was talking, or if you had some questions for her, we'd be more than happy to have that. Um, she's available for your questions. Please ask questions. Anyone?
I might be off the hook. Somebody did.
Someone asked, what is the primary demographic targeted?
Sure. We support at Atholis those over 21 years old who have an intellectual or developmental disability diagnosis. That could be autism, Down syndrome, or any other sort of IDD diagnosis.
Oh, okay.
So it's a
Um,
big range. We have programs for people with dual diagnosis, with mental health and IDD, an autism specific program, medically fragile program, meaningful day programs, employment programs. We support over 200 people on any given day in a different type of service.
oh, nice. So for the autistic people, do you guys cover the whole spectrum of any level that they may be in?
Mhm.
Oh, wow. Is there an economic background or demographic that you guys target as well? That everybody's welcome?
Many of our service referrals come from people who are in the Medicaid waiver programs that run through the state, but we have had other people just contact us privately and are funded differently, but the majority of people are coming through that program.
Oh, okay. And like you indicated earlier, you are trying to expand and opening other centers and where people can just that can be extended to other communities as well. Is that taking place within only the Maryland community, or is that going to be out of state, or it's going to be somewhat eventually becoming nationwide?
For now, it's only in Maryland, but my
Okay.
longer term plans are to impact as many communities as possible. I would like it to grow as big as it can, as long as we can keep the level of quality service we have now.
Nice. Someone asked a question. Do you offer remote services to people who are not in your geographic area?
Yes, with a caveat. It would depend on if they are looking for participation in the Medicaid waiver program. Then there are some restrictions around that. But we have had even people private pay for some of our virtual services.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's a good thing. Um, do you guys advertise to the extent where people can reach out wherever they may be, asking for the types of services that you guys offer or the resources that you may have available for them?
Our website has a full list of services. We also have a Facebook page that has a list of all of our services, but we encourage people to call us. We'll tell you
Okay.
all about them.
Oh, nice. That's a good thing. Yeah. Um, Anyone in the audience with a question? If you are not comfortable speaking on here, I'll take the question from the chat and I'll read it off. Anyone else? And how long has Atlas been around?
We were founded in 1976.
Oh, wow.
We were run by our founder until 2017. So I was fortunate to learn so much from him.
Oh, wow. So has he retired or is he still in the
He's not no longer at Atlas.
Oh, okay. Oh. So it's being run by a good staff who are trained to become um, part of this.
Absolutely. Many of our directors have been there for 20 plus years.
Oh
It
wow,
truly feels like family.
wow,
Mm.
wow. That's interesting. Someone asked a question. Where do you see AI in your field, and how do you use that?
Well, I will say it's been very helpful for writing grants. Uh, that it's been a time saver for us. Like I said, we were slow to even get into technology. Moving from paper to electronic records only happened a couple of years ago. The strategic discussions about AI, we haven't had those yet, especially considering HIPAA and personal identifiable information. But I think there's a place for it. It can save a lot of that desk time to allow us to have the human time, which is where our hearts are. But strategically and globally, do I know exactly where that will land with us? I don't.
Yeah, AI has been at the forefront on so many different fields, especially the medical field.
Mhm.
It's having an impact where it frightens a lot of professionals.
Mhm.
Um, and but at the same time, it's offering a whole lot. So I think a lot of CEOs can take advantage of the benefits offered by these things, especially like in your case, you're using that to write some grants, and that's a great tool for that.
Yeah.
But do you feel there's a connection that the recipients may know a little bit about AI and how can that facilitate the services that you guys are offering to them?
Yeah, actually, yeah, I think we could integrate it into services and have our participants use it in ways they want to create create more meaningful days for them, give them more
Right.
options. I think that there's a lot of value in AI there, but you're right. People are scared of it in a way.
Right.
I think some
Yes.
people worry it's going to take their job. I have no worry of that because our whole job is relationships, but
Right.
I think we should benefit from it where we can.
Yes, that's for sure. It is anticipated that a lot of jobs are going to be lost. Somewhat, I think it's about 80,000 jobs should be lost, but at the same time, it will create 90,000 more.
Mhm.
So I guess I'm sorry, not thousand million, but it will create 90 million more. So that's not to say it's not gonna create other areas where people will be able to shift and say, okay, now this is my area of expertise and all that. So
Right.
that's a great tool. So it's coming and it's settling itself in such a way that it will benefit all aspects of businesses and
Mhm.
medical comfort for people.
Mhm.
Yeah. So we look forward to the benefits already.
I think it's important to embrace it now
Yes,
before you're forced to embrace it and you're behind the curve.
exactly. That's for sure. Um, do we have any questions? Yeah, because of the technical problems that happened, the last time we had a much larger audience. It's just that this time again, I am so sorry. I messed this up.
That's okay.
So
This has been lovely. I could talk to 100 people or one person. I just like people.
yeah, that's right. You connected with people, and that's hence the reason AI is not gonna be taking away part of your job at all because the human to human connections cannot go away like that.
Hmm.
It's someone says it seems AI is risking similar programming challenges to facial recognition.
I don't know if that specifically would touch our field.
Yeah, I think this is just a comment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's an added comment. Yeah,
Hmm.
right. Yeah. Yeah, someone mentioned about the errors and bias, but that's mostly um in AI, so that's not it's not a question for you. But as far as what we call the bias errors in AI, they'd rather call them hallucinating AI in terms of AI giving you answers regardless of whether it is true or not of the answers, but it will create something and fabricate something to satisfy your question. So
Hmm.
yes, these things do happen.
Hmm.
Um, and hopefully you can post this on your website. So yes, I will post this on the website at the end of at the end of this, and I'll also put it on LinkedIn so folks can see what transpired while we did this. So the only sad part is that I was anticipating many more people in this, and it so happened that um so that happens. Someone says, do you focus more on recreational therapy?
We do have a recreational therapy focus, but not, I wouldn't say more. We have a therapeutic recreation manager, and she does a great job. And she's been there for many, many years, even before our new behavioral health service line.
Oh, okay. Um, please ask questions. Do you work with schools? Someone asked.
Schools become our referral source when people age out of the public education system in the IDD community, typically at age 21. Then oftentimes they transition into adult services like we provide at Athlos. But we make
Oh,
those connections very early on because it's important for students, even 15, 16, to start adult life planning.
oh, wow.
Mm.
Oh, um, how about transitioning? Someone mentioned about transitioning.
There is a transitioning youth period, if that's what they're referring to. That's kind of that 18 to 21 age range for us where there's transition fairs that we attend and you explain the services that you provide and see if it's a match for a person's needs.
Oh, okay. I hope that's not too many questions for you, Dr.
Not
Taylor.
at all.
Someone asked, what types of recreational activities, such as sports, organized team events?
Mhm. We partner a lot with Special Olympics for sporting events, and a lot of people that we support are on Special Olympics teams. But we also try, back to inclusion, we try to truly integrate people into the community, and it doesn't have to be a team solely for people with disabilities. It could just be a softball team or a basketball team in a neighborhood. On site, we do a lot of physical exercise wellness. Almost every day in every single program, there's an opportunity for physical wellness. Organized events, not as much. That becomes a little bit more challenging. That's why we partner with Special Olympics or other sporting events.
Oh, nice. And do they actually finance your um your um your company? Do they do that? Do they provide any kind of financial support?
No, there's no financial partnership there. It's just all of us working together towards a common goal.
Oh, okay. That's good. Yeah. Um, well, Dr. Taylor, I can't keep you asking questions like that. I guess you'll be tired at some point. I guess the only thing is that maybe if there were many different other people there, maybe the questions would be a little bit more. But
Mhm.
I guess the audience is much smaller now, and I think they all have asked questions. I assume. So I had a little script here for the conclusion of this.
Okay.
As we conclude today's episode of the CyberClinic podcast, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to you, Dr. Taylor, for sharing your expertise, vision, and passion for building inclusive communities in behavioral health and disability services. Your leadership and advocacy truly highlight what it means to drive meaningful changes in healthcare. Your journey reminds us that leadership is not only about strategy and innovation, but also about compassion, community, and the belief that every individual deserves the opportunity to thrive. From expanding behavioral health services for the IDD community to mentoring the next generation of mental health professionals. Dr. Taylor's work demonstrates the impact one leader can have in shaping systems and transforming lives. And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in to this episode of the CyberConnect podcast. If you'd like to learn more, catch up on past episodes, or even explore becoming a guest on the show, I invite you to visit us at cyberconnectpodcast.com. We're always looking to highlight voices from across healthcare technology and innovation. So, if you're passionate about shaping the future of care, we'd love to hear from you. Um, we're always looking to highlight voices from across healthcare. So please do not hesitate to come and fill out the form that says, I'd like to become a guest speaker, given your expertise in the medical field in AI or shaping the policies that help us get these things. Meanwhile, I'm asking you to please join us on Monday at 3 p.m. for a special conversation with Dr. Champagne, award-winning neuroscientist, therapist, and bilingual trainer in FASD, attachment, trauma, and childhood aggression. Mark your calendars. You won't want to miss this. Um, and Dr. Taylor, she also attended McGill. She went to McGill. I guess we talked about that, right?
Mhm.
So
I'm
this
going to
has been
try
this
my best to be at her
quick.
podcast.
Yes, that would be nice if you could make it. I posted on LinkedIn too, so
Mhm.
you can check it there. And that would be nice if you could be part of the audience, and maybe you'd be asking questions related to the field that you guys have in common. So
Mhm.
that would be great. So this has been the CyberClinic podcast. I am your host, Claude Bernard. Until next time, stay informed, stay inspired, and continue to be part of the movement for a healthier, more equitable future. Dr. Taylor, I can't help but saying thank you so much for your time, your patience, and for the
Thank you very
technical
much, Doctor.
issues we
I'm
had to
glad I
go through.
persisted in going through the various link challenges, but thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Marlene.
Thank you for having me. This was wonderful. It was a great discussion.
Yes, thank you. And I truly look forward to having you next time. And this way, I promise the audience will be much larger, a much bigger audience. So
That's okay.
this
I
way, then.
loved the audience today.
No, this is of course, and I am so appreciative of the fact that those who are able to stick around to make it here. Again, I am so thankful that you were able to do that, despite what we went through. So again, I am so thankful for all of you who are here and managed to come back and be part of this. So hopefully you'll have on Monday too. Hopefully you'll be there. So I look forward to seeing you on Monday as well.
Great.
Dr. Taylor, again, thank you so much. I will keep in touch. I will post this on Facebook, not Facebook, I'm sorry, on LinkedIn, and I will also send you a copy of this.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a beautiful day.
You as well.
Thank you. And you, the audience too, please have a great day yourselves.